Hello creators! This is Freya from the Digital Forge. The AI music space continues to move quickly, legally, technologically and culturally. Here are the most important developments shaping the landscape this week. A long-running legal question about AI authorship has reached a significant moment. Computer scientist Stephen Thaler has spent years arguing that AI systems themselves should be recognized as legal authors. His latest case asked the courts to grant copyright protection to artwork created entirely by his AI system, with no human involvement. The US Supreme Court declined to hear his appeal. That means the current rule remains in place. In the United States, works created without human authorship can't receive copyright protection. For AI music creators, this establishes a clear boundary. If a track is generated fully autonomously, with no meaningful human creative input, it does not qualify for copyright protection under current law. As generative music tools grow more powerful, the distinction between human-guided creation and fully AI output becomes increasingly important. Because ultimately, authorship determines ownership. Generative music platform Suno has announced that it has now surpassed 2 million paying subscribers. The company also reports an estimated $300 million in annual recurring revenue. If you break that down, the numbers suggest an average revenue of roughly $150 per user per year. That works out to about $12 to $13 per month, which aligns very closely with typical premium subscription pricing in the generative music space. What this tells us is that a large number of users are not simply experimenting with free tools. They are paying for access and continuing to pay. 2 million recurring subscribers places generative music firmly into serious commercial territory. Staying with Suno, streaming analytics veteran Kieran Donahue has introduced a proof-of-concept analytics platform called Suno Charts. Donahue previously built analytics tools for Spotify and served as vice president of global streaming strategy at Warner Music. His dashboard tracks trends inside the Suno ecosystem, including popular genres, effective prompts, top creators, and model adoption patterns. Because Suno does not currently provide a public API, the system is still early stage. But the concept signals where generative platforms may be heading. Analytics systems for AI music creation may eventually look very similar to the data ecosystems built around streaming. Google has moved quickly after acquiring Producer.ai. The company has already begun encouraging large-scale user interaction with the system in order to gather training feedback. Free users received 2,000 credits, while paid subscribers received 4,000 credits. Users were also given day one access to Nano Banana 2, the updated image generator powered by Google DeepMind. Inside the platform, users are encouraged to create, rate, favorite, and share outputs. Every interaction becomes training data. Every rating becomes feedback data. But why the urgency with this? The answer is quite simple. Google is entering an increasingly competitive space dominated by platforms like Suno. And the fastest way to improve generative models is real-world usage. Google is essentially subsidizing that usage to accelerate development. Streaming service Qobuz has announced a new system designed to identify and label fully AI-generated tracks in its catalog. Importantly, this is not a ban, it's about transparency. Listeners will be able to see when a track is entirely AI-generated. This move places Qobuz ahead of Spotify in formal AI labeling. Streaming platform Deezer has already introduced similar detection systems and has even licensed that technology to other companies. What we're beginning to see is a shift in how streaming platforms treat AI. Disclosure is slowly becoming a standard feature, not an optional one. Nigeria-based AI company Corin AI has reached 2 major milestones. The company has received a World Summit Award, a United Nations-affiliated initiative recognizing digital innovation with social impact. At the same time, Corin AI has been accepted into NVIDIA's Inception program. That program provides technical support, infrastructure access, and advanced computing resources. Corin AI's mission is to develop AI music systems trained specifically on African languages, voices, and musical traditions. These developments highlight an important trend. AI infrastructure is increasingly being built with cultural specificity at its core, rather than added as an afterthought. In a recent interview, Boy George, frontman of Culture Club, revealed that he has been using ChatGPT as a songwriting collaborator. He described having back-and-forth conversations with the model, refining ideas, pushing responses, and adjusting outputs until they match his lyrical style. He has also experimented with AI-assisted vocal recreations of older recordings. While some legacy artists remain skeptical of AI tools, a noticeable shift is happening. More musicians are experimenting with AI openly and publicly, rather than quietly behind the scenes. AI-powered artist China Styles recently reached number 2 on Billboard's R&B digital song sales chart with the track I Love Me, Loud. The song was created using Suno, turning personal diary entries into a finished track. It's important to understand what this chart measures. The digital song sales chart tracks paid downloads, not streaming numbers or radio airplay. In other words, it measures direct purchases. While this isn't the same as appearing on the broader Billboard Hot 100, it still marks a milestone. An AI-assisted production workflow created a song that generated enough buyer demand to chart officially. Access to production tools has changed the landscape dramatically, but ultimately, audience traction is still what determines success. Several new experimental tools have also appeared this week. WombTunes is a research project from the Australian National University. The platform converts baby ultrasound data into music using AI and machine learning. A public waitlist is now open ahead of its planned release later this year. Audio Drive takes a different approach. It generates music dynamically based on how a person drives. Acceleration changes tempo. Steering alters musical structure. Instead of selecting a playlist, the driver becomes the input. Starchild is an adaptive music player that allows listeners to manipulate individual stems within a song. You can raise the vocals, isolate drums, or reshape the arrangement in real time. The idea is to make music feel less like a fixed recording and more like an interactive experience. At Stanford's Tree Hacks Hackathon, a project called ChromaChord introduced an AI jazz improvisation partner. It listens to MIDI input and suggests harmonically coherent musical responses. The project won 3rd place overall and Best Musical Hack. Finally, AI mixing company Roex has announced a major upgrade to its mixing architecture. Instead of applying static presets, the system now dynamically adjusts levels and processing throughout the track. Projects can also be exported directly into traditional DAWs for further refinement. AI music is evolving rapidly. The legal frameworks are still forming as new tools appear every week. The relationship between human creativity and machine assistance continues to shift. For creators, the most important strategy remains simple. Understand the tools, understand the landscape, and choose deliberately how you create. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay informed. I am Freya, and this is The Digital Forge, and I will see you on the next one.